I'm pondering if I really want to smack you guys in the face and go off script from this next topic that I actually was going to talk about, and talk about something real, very authentic, and what would normally be considered a W as in weird or a win, we're going to have to go with was not a W and not a win. So do I or don't I? You know what? I'm going to ask you. Well, so I went live on Facebook, and one of my clients, an awesome, previous, amazing, lovely lady who's been in front of my camera a few times, Jolita, commented and said yes to go off script and get very real, very authentic, and oh, this one's gonna be painful, but I need to talk about it for real dough. Needs to be addressed. So this one's not for everybody. If you are offended by strong language, strong terms, and professionalism, and somebody that strives to be doing the best that they can and has zero tolerance and zero tolerance policy on certain things when you're working with them, or if you are easily offended because I don't put feelings before facts, probably should turn the video off because we're about to get in the trenches. So, recently had an experience, had somebody shooting with me. Not going to go into details, but I'm going to leave this as an opportunity. So, okay, this will be the intro for the video. I recently had an experience with somebody shooting with me, and this particular person did, and then I'm gonna like edit the video and be like, haha, cliffhanger. All right, now we'll start the video properly. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everybody. This is David Esquire coming to you live from EPHQ.EPHQ, and not squeaky chair, but kind of rocky-dee, bangity chair today. And welcome to another episode of Raw 365, where we get real, authentic, and weird. And this episode is being brought to you by Jolita. She commented on the video and the post, and I said yes or no. Your answer determines what I was going to do for the next Raw 365 video. If you said no, then I would be going on script. But because you said yes, I'm going off script and covering something else for this episode. That said, oh, and then there was a disclaimer, so y'all know, if you're offended, just change the channel, PG time is over. This is the second time in my career that I would have to say I have had to fire another photographer. The first time was on the spot, and this other photographer, I have zero tolerance and zero tolerance policy, zero policy, no ifs, and ors, or buts about drinking on the job. Same policy that I had when I had my band. You didn't show up stoned, you didn't show up drunk, you left your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whoever, your pet, you left them at home. You show up and you do the job clean because you're supposed to be, air quotes, a professional. I have that same policy implemented in my photography business. I have zero tolerance for alcohol, drugs, showing up stoned, showing up drunk, or doing any of the above when you're shooting. I don't care what you do off the clock. You're done shooting, boom, that's it. That's totally fine. Now, I also have a policy, there's two people taking pictures. One person is the lead that the client hired. The other person is the second, or the lead junior, or the assistant, or a VAL, a voice activated light stand, VAL, whatever that other person might be. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. If you are a second photographer or wanting to be a second photographer, you must, first of all, check your ego at the door. You are not there for your agenda, your portfolio. This is not your wedding. So just want to help all you youngins, all you greenfield people that are coming up in the industry and clawing and scratching your way on up. It's not about you. It's not about us either as a lead photographer, but I 100% want to convey and communicate as strongly and firmly and professionally without wanting to go, you are not there for your agenda. That said, you are also not there to talk over the lead photographer, to take on any particular moments during a wedding day or a photo shoot as your own. You do not hijack a moment. You do not hijack a photo that is being captured. You don't treat it like you're an Uncle Bob or an Aunt Mabel with a camera. You don't treat it like you're a guest who's a Karen who has a camera and they think they can just tell you what to do. You are not there for you. You are there to help achieve the objective that the lead photographer and the client who hired the lead photographer come together and make happen. This all recently happened, unfortunately. Me being me, I rise above, I deal with it, but that person will never, ever, ever work with me ever again. They can go work with other people, whatever. Maybe that works for them. Maybe they were having a bad day. But in no way, shape, or form, as a second photographer, do you have any admonishment or anything that should be driving you to lead with your own agenda, your own way of doing things. Period. End of story. If there's a cap on the number of photos that are to be taken because that is the amount of time that was allocated to edit a shoot or edit a wedding, or that is all that the client can afford to pay for, you better turn off that spray and pray action that you got going on, that 30 frames a second, that 10, the 15, the 20, the 5, the 2, and you get better at taking pictures and understanding the sine wave of the emotion that happens. It is not a flex to be a spray and praytographer. That is, you're a spraytographer. You're a mictographer, which I own. You are not that. If you want to be that, I can pretty much without a doubt and put a coffee drink on it, your career will be short-lived and you will get schooled and nobody will want to work with you. And if you lean on AI products like Aftershoot and other things that are coming up in the industry, yay, that's great, but it is a tool to help you do your job. It is not the tool to be like, I shot 5,000 pictures in 5 hours or 4 hours or 3 hours or 8 hours or whatever it might be. And I'm gonna go ahead and upload everything into an AI that has zero life whatsoever. Get better at being a photographer. Get better at understanding human emotion. Get better at understanding your position and your station in a shoot. Do not do that to a lead photographer, because you are not just effing up the lead photographer's ability to do their job, but you are doing a disservice ultimately to the client, because the lead photographer then is no longer in their zone, in their mind, operating from an unconscious, conscious state of mind. They're not. So if you're the kind of person that wants to go out and do that, by God, don't ever call me. Please, don't ever call me, look me up, burn my number, lose my email. don't even think that I exist, because I don't ever want to have to go through that situation ever again. Ever. So if you are going to become a second photographer, and I will say this with utmost confidence, that all of what I have described that recently has happened in a situation with me, I have never in my career treated a lead photographer as such. There have been times where it's like I kind of teeter because I'm an alpha and it's just, I'm a dorky Leo and I'm just a dorky zealot, and then I get knocked off my pedestal that I prop my stupid ego on, and I'm like, oh yeah, I better check myself before I wreck myself. And that's okay. But everything that I described, in no way have I ever done. And I've worked with some of the most amazing photographers in the country. I've known some of the most amazing photographers in the country. And one of the photographers that I met a million, billion, trillion years ago in the late 80s, his name is Dennis Monarchy. I don't know if he's still around. I haven't spoken with him in years. But one of the things that he told me as an up-and-coming, rising photographer, model, dancer, etc., that I was doing was you stay true to yourself and you stay true to your craft. And I'm telling you, I'm staying true to zero tolerance to anybody that wants to come in and stomp all over a wedding or a photo shoot or a video shoot or a commercial or whatever it is. Because if it weren't for the client having paid for another photographer to have been there and had certain expectations that they were seeking on that day, I would have sent that person home on the spot, the first instance. Like the instance that I had when I caught my second photographer drinking behind a curtain at an event in Hollywood at a wedding reception. I gathered my memory cards from him, said goodnight. His payment would be sent to him, and it would be for the time that he had worked up until the time that I caught him drinking alcohol behind a curtain in the little bar area at the restaurant for the reception. No way, no way. Have respect for your lead photographer's client. Probably sounding like a broken record, but I'm telling you, the expletives that came out of my mouth recently, and the frustration and the anger and the sheer utter disrespect that I felt that not only I was treated with, but my client was treated with, was appalling, to say the least. I was aghast. I was speechless. I could have been a trucker at that moment. I could have been a trucker, because every other word, to quote Bill Cosby, was filth and flarn and flarn and filth and filth and flarn and filth and flarn and futhermucker and trucker pucker and filth and flarn and flarn and filth. It was a bad, it was not my finest moment, and thankfully I have an amazing wife that called my monkey butt out on it. And I'm glad, because she said, you don't need to be working with people like that. And then I remembered everything now that a few days have passed and some time has passed, and I have calmed down such the situation. But you guys, if you're coming up in the biz, it's not about you as a second, and it never will be. It's about the client that hired the lead, and what the objective is. You're there to help. You're there to do whatever the first photographer, the lead photographer, is asking or needs you to do, not what you think you need to be doing. And for all you spraytographers that are out there, get it right. Just because your camera can shoot 30 frames a second doesn't mean you should. And if you're capturing pictures and you can't capture a still portrait without capturing 20 frames in one burst, you're a crappy photographer. I'm going to call it out as it is. Get better at your craft. Learn the human emotion. Learn the human psyche. Because there's nothing worse than standing somewhere and hearing, and I'm like, these are stills of like a person, or maybe two people, or four people at the most. And to hear 30, 40 frames firing off, that sucks. That really sucks. So, guys, as a second, get better out there. Jolita, it's on you. You told me to get off script. You said yes. So I'm putting this one on you. But yeah, this one's been brewing for a little bit. And I'm just grateful that Christine helped check me and because of Christine's voice in my head right now, I'm not going on any of that. I'm just being strong. And if your feelings were hurt, then you're part of the problem. I'm going to tell you like it is, and I've said it before on many other topics. If your feelings are hurt because of something that's going on in an industry that has been around way the F longer than all of us put together, then you're part of the problem, and you need to check out why your feelings are hurt. I'm not an old grumpy. I'm not a grump photographer. I'm a guy that expects the best out of me, the best out of the people that I work with, and I sure as hell am going to do everything I can to deliver that best product to my client. And if you get in my way, you are out of here. You will never work with me ever again. So you guys, as a second, check your ego, realize you're there for the first photographer. More importantly, realize that everything that you are there to help achieve is for the client, not your portfolio, not your inability to shoot less than 3,000 pictures in a day or in an 8-hour period. It's not about you. So get real with this, because people like you are bringing our industry down, and we don't need that. We need people to lift this industry up. One of the reasons why I'm doing these Raw 365 videos is because I'm giving away all this information that I've accumulated in 4+ decades for free. $0 other than your time. And well, for free for you, but it ain't free, right? For me. Oh, touching the microphone. Sorry, my bad. My bad. So, for reals, get better, because we don't need more people driving this industry down. If there's one thing that the digital revolution has done to the photography world as a whole, it has really created such a crap name for photographers and for wedding photographers. And oh, we're all rock stars in the 2000s, whatever. Man, whatever, that's not it. Just a bunch of people out there doing what we love and doing our best to make a living at it, and we don't need troglodytes driving us down because they can't get past their ego at a shoot when they're a second. Okay, done. Oh my gosh, I haven't been so passionate about something in a while, but this is serious and needs to be addressed. I'll have to do another yes or no for another Raw 365 later as a tips for being a wedding guest. Although y'all have been getting better over the years. I'm impressed. It ain't like how it used to be back in the day. I did a video. You can find it on my YouTube page and social and everywhere else, where I was like, can we talk? All right, that's it. Jolita, there you go. You said yes. I delivered 17 and a half minutes of me going, urgh. Let's wrap it up. Yeah. I can't even be serious and can be comical, because that was it really got under, you see that like under my skin. That's it. And this is David Esquire coming to you live from EPHQ with another episode of Raw 365, where clearly I got real and authentic and at bit times wild, not weird. And until next time, remember to do one thing and one thing properly. You know what it is. What could it be? Oh yeah, stay caffeinated, and I'll see you soon. Oh, I almost hit the camera. That would have hurt. That would have messed up my hair.